Shut up and sit down.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome back once again to Vicious Rants. And of course, I am your host, Mr. Main Event himself, the often imitated, never duplicated superstar Tim Vicious. And we're gonna go to Otis, who was in St. Louis, Missouri. But before we do, just like always, want to remind everyone, we here are WWE Shop affiliates. So what that means is, if you go in the description tab down below, click that link, it will take you to WWE Shop. Now, whatever purchase you're going to make on there, whether it's one of those really great Yeet shirts, whether it's one of the college football commemorative titles, whether it's an action figure, a Funko Pop, a collectible, a poster, whatever you're getting off of there, make whatever purchase you want. We here at the Vicious Studios will receive a small nominal commission from them. You do not receive an extra charge, but we here will receive a small commission based off that purchase. So what we're saying is, point blank, you are helping us help you, because those profits go directly into this show to help make it bigger and better in the long run. Folks, I'm not lying. This is not lining my pocket whatsoever. I'm not living high off the hog from these. It's all going directly back into the show. So with that said, now that we've gotten that, we mentioned that, let's switch gears and talk about last week via the SmackDown Rewind. And the big highlights from last week's SmackDown. It starts out with Jimmy Uso coming out. Jimmy, he comes out. Man, I miss y'all. It's good to be back. Goes, addresses on how he missed everyone. It's nice to be back, this, that, and the other. Then out comes Roman. Roman comes out, looks around. Now I know this is a little different, but acknowledge him. Referring to Jimmy. So then Roman, he winds up laying it down, saying point blank, listen, since WrestleMania, man, for the past 6 months, we had it all. 6 months ago, we had it all. We had the titles, we had the money, we had power, we had everything. Now look, got nothing. I got no championship. I got no family. I got no Ulafala. Hey, I finally said it right this time. Wade, make a note on that. And the whole time he's doing that, the whole time he's mentioning that, he's saying it without actually saying it, but if you read between the lines, you can see he's saying, we're building up to a bloodline civil war between Roman and Solo. And Jimmy, he's saying, I'm here for you, Uso. I'm here for you. I got you. I got you. Now, you know who we're going to need, though. We're going to need some backup. You know who we need. And then the second he says that, the crowd goes banana and starts yelling, yeet, 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 yeet. Roman, without missing a beat, no yeet. Like, so we still mad at him over that? Oh. Excuse me. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Oh, okay. So, and then it pretty much gets done after that. So let's just talk about the main event because it's tied to this segment. It was Solo versus Jimmy. It was a good match. It was literally seeing the younger brother fighting the older brother type deal. Solo wound up getting the win. It ended with Bloodline, then proceeded to do a beatdown on Jimmy. Roman comes out to save the day. They do a beatdown on him also. It ends with Jimmy and Roman embracing, Jimmy holding Roman, We need him, Moose. We need him. We need him. You know, hinting again to Jimmy. So, like I said last week, personal prediction at Survivor Series, War Games, Bloodline have Solo, the Gorillas of Destiny, and Jacob Fatu going against Roman, the Usos, and The Rock. Have The Rock either accidentally or on purpose cost Roman the War Games match. Then, going from there, stretch from Royal Rumble until WrestleMania to build up Roman versus Rock. That's my personal prediction on that. But the other highlights from SmackDown, we had the one and only L.A. Knight, yeah, dummy, yeah, let me talk to you, defending his United States Championship against Carmelo Hayes. It's a good match. I thought it was alright. Match came up. Knight wound up getting the win. Afterwards, though, you just see Hayes just kind of like leaning back, like, oh, kind of having this look on him, like, oh man, oh man. Kind of like, alright, maybe this is just me in the weird way my brain processes things, but he kind of had this look on him like he was that kid that peaked in high school and now he's like 2 years out of high school and he's still trying to hold on to that popularity, that aura and that star power. You know? And it looks like he's coming off that way. I know that's meant for just TV before anyone says something, so I'm not talking about like, oh, his character's dead, this, that, and the other, blah, 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 kind of bullshit. No. Far from it. Kevin Owens came out and interrupted Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson's entrance because KO wanted to talk about and explain what happened, what he did at Bad Blood. And for those who may not know, after the pay-per-view at Bad Blood, Kevin Owens wound up beating up Cody Rhodes, and it was caught on fan footage, fan cameras, people's cell phones, and it was uploaded out there onto the internet. So, honestly, my big takeaway from this isn't the story that we're getting KO versus Cody. It's not that Kevin Owens is a bad guy now. Excuse me, no. My big takeaway from all this is the fact that WWE is getting smart on how the fans can help manipulate and build the story. Because if you look at that video and you see that video that's out there, there's no cameras, no lighting crew, no nothing. It's just Owens talking to Cody, one-on-one, back and forth like this, and then next thing you know, boom! And then proceeded to get into a fight. So, what happened on SmackDown though? Owens comes out, he goes to speak into a mic, the mic gets cut off, it's shut down. He then goes over to the commentator's desk. Excuse me. Goes to the commentator's desk. Yep, talks into the microphone there. Hey, Cody, why don't you come on out and we'll talk about what happened. Next thing you know, Cody, he comes out and now comes a wave of security along with Nick Aldis to keep them two at bay. Because Cody is out for blood. Randy comes out, steps in between, like, hey, I'll talk to him for you. So we see that, and then eventually we see Kevin wound up doing a beatdown on Randy Orton later on in the show. So, yeah. Whew, doggy, that's going to be something. Because when we get Kevin versus Randy on that one-on-one match, whew. So, yeah. So we had the women's tag action match after all those shenanigans. Jakar Jackson and Lash Legend going against Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. It was a good match. I thought it was nice to see the Metaphor girls get on the main roster matches just to help build them up, to give them a little, give them a little bit of the main rub stank, if you will. And it was good. I thought it was a good match. Jade and Bianca got the win. Not much of a shocker there. And yeah, that's pretty much... no, I'm sorry. Nia had a match against BBL Bayley. And nope, that nickname will not die. Against Bayley, and yeah, it was alright. Bayley wound up getting a win. So, or not Bayley, I'm sorry, Naomi. See? Brain fart. Sorry about that. I'm sorry. I screwed up. It was Nia versus Naomi. Naomi wound up getting a win. I apologize. So, with that said, let's get started with the show, Raw in St. Louis. It starts out with Mommy coming out, Rhea Ripley coming out, addressing on how she wants Raquel, because she wants Raquel and she wants her world title, because it got taken from her and she never really lost it. Then out comes Tiffany Straton rubbing in on how, listen, you can want that all you want, but you're still not going to be anywhere near as great as me or Nia. And with this, I could cash in any time. Kind of doing like that kind of a rubbing in the face. And then Rhea just kind of looking at her like, bitch, get the hell out of here before I rip your head off and shove it up your ass. And then we see Liv, and Raquel come out, and then there's a brouhaha there, all this, that, and the other. And then, yeah. So they wind up making a tag match between Rhea Ripley and Tiffany Straton against Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez later on in the show. We'll get into that. But first things first, let's get into the first match of the night. Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair going against Damage Control, Io Sky and Kairi Sane. Good match. It was a good match with baby faces. They were leading at the start with Io and Kairi leading into the commercial break. Post-commercial break, Jade wound up getting a hot tag in, cleaned up house, and the rest from there was pretty much history. Io and, no, can't really say that, because do want to also go over, without making it sound insultive that I'm glossing over it, but Io and Kairi, they were leading the pace, but you could tell by the way the match was playing out, like, yeah, that's not going to go for them on their favor. But Jade and Bianca, they did get the win, and it was Io wound up getting into Lash and Jakara were sitting ringside. Io wound up getting in both of their faces, screaming at them. Next thing you know, Miss Jackson wound up, boom, clocking Io. Io, dazed and confused, rolled back into the ring. Bianca gets her, slams her down, and then scoops her up for the KOD for the 1, the 2, the 3. That is it. Next up, we got Otis and Akira Tozawa going against the returning War Raiders. Not Viking Raiders, but War Raiders. And oh dear God, this is good. Now, folks, listen up, because you're about to get a lesson from Professor Tim, giving a quick history lesson about the massive name changes that this team has had. For those who may be unaware, Eric and Ivar, they were a tag team. They originally started out in Ring of Honor during the Sinclair Broadcasting era. They were known as War Machine. They tag teamed there as well as in New Japan under that name. When they signed with WWE, They stopped using the name War Machine because it tied in, because the name was so still coincidental and relevant to the MMA fighter who wound up getting arrested for domestic abuse. And they didn't want to go and have that name tied in with that, because if kids went to go and Google War Machine and wound up seeing that guy instead of Eric and Ivar, that would have sent a very bad image. So they decided to go with War Raiders instead. They were going good in NXT as the War Raiders for a long while, and then when they got the call up to the main roster, VKM wound up saying, "Nah, I don't want to do the War Raider. War, oh, goddamn, pal. Can't have them be war. What's it, they're Vikings? Vikings, right? So, and it's like an experience seeing Vikings in action. We'll call them the Viking Experience." Which went over about as well as a turd in a punch bowl. And then after that, the following week, they then got rebranded as the Viking Raiders. And they've been going with that name non-stop since. Excuse me. Up until they were injured a year ago, and now upon returning, they are now back to their original NXT name, War Raiders, and Sane. We're back to where we were. And this was very much so what you would expect for this match. Eric and Ivar wound up murdering Otis and Akira Tozawa. It was just, ooh, man. Yeah. Now, it came to an end when Ivar wound up doing the spin kick of doom and then doing like this splash onto Otis for the 1, 2, 3. So, next up now we got Kofi Kingston going one-on-one with the big bad booty nephew himself, Bron Breakker. Kofi, he starts off strong. The second the bell rings, he goes running charge, starts throwing punches left and right like crazy, blah, 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 blah. The second the ref pulls him off of him, though, that was when Kofi's fate was sealed. Because he wound up, excuse me, he gave Bron a small little moment to breathe, and that's all he needed. He took a breath, and he did not stop. And he just put Kofi on the ass end of an ass whooping, non-stop in this match. Bron wound up getting the win because doing an overhead belly to belly, and then boom, doing a spear right after. Went to go do a post-match beatdown, saved by Xavier Woods. Woods then turns around, gets beat up by Breakker and taking the beating that was meant for Kofi. And then as Bron's doing that, out comes Jey Uso, who then winds up taking out Breakker and shoos him off like a roach when you turn the light on. Yeah, I'm not I'm not sure if I'm emotionally ready for when this New Day breakup is going to happen. I'm not emotionally ready for it. I'm just going to be honest now. Yeah. But either way, next matchup we had was R-Truth going against The Miz, and this was a quick little let me up moment match where Truth came out, he did his shtick, Miz came out. Honestly, my biggest takeaway from this match, watching it, was just being in shock seeing The Miz wrestling without his arms taped up. Because normally he's got like from his wrist to like like a quarter of his forearm. And it's just like, seeing it like, he doesn't have his wrist taped. Huh? What? And it was just a little off. Maybe it's just me and it's weird seeing those slight non-aesthetic things that just make it feel or look different. But yeah, seeing that, it's just like, what? So just as this is going on, next thing you know, you see the Final Testament coming down. Miz, he turns around, he sees them, he starts yelling at them. Truth goes over, scoops Miz up for a roll up, 1, 2, 3. That's it. And as Truth is out there doing a victory lap, celebrating, yeah, rah rah, sis, boom bah type stuff. He then goes past the final testament. Yeah, you see that now? You see that? Yeah, that was good on you. That was good on you. Yeah. And then just goes and says, bring him back. And then you see AOP grab Truth, looking like he owes him money, throwing a couple shots, toss him back into the ring. The Miz then, boom, skull crushing finale, and then just leans over him like that, like, I own you, you're mine, your soul is mine, kind of deal. So now we come to main event match of the night. Rhea bloody Ripley, wow, and Tiffany Straton going against Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. And this had a good start. The heels were leading into the commercial break. Yep. Tiff wound up working as the punching bag post-break. Rhea wound up getting in for a bit, and it was good. I thought it was decent, and I'm going to be honest right here, right now. Last week's Raw, it felt a little choppy, but I'm giving it the benefit of the doubt because it was the first Raw to go back to a 2-hour show for the first time in roughly 10, maybe 12 years. So, yeah. You're going to have some pains going from having, it's going to be an adjustment period. It's like going from an extra large shirt to a medium, you know? But either way. As far as the match went, it was good. Rhea wound up leading, was taking full control on everything. Wound up taking out, what was it? Took out Liv, tagged in Tiffany, told her, take care of her, and then proceeded to go on the outside to go beat up Raquel. Was beating the tar out of her, hooked her up to go for the riptide, and as she's got her hooked, out of nowhere Nia Jax comes, boom, takes out Rhea, and then gets in there, takes out Liv, and then Rhea tries to go and fight back. Liv winds up taking out Nia, then Nia winds up taking her down, slams her, sets it up, and then does the Annihilator afterwards. Nia then just goes, looks at Tiffany, just gives her that, you know what to do look. Like she's about to go and cash in. She's going to cash in. Oh my God. And there's no rule saying she can't cash in on Liv Morgan, right? Just like there's no rule saying she couldn't cash in on Roxanne Perez if she wanted to. Food for thought. But either way, wound up doing that, and then after as she's trying to convince the ref, yes, cash in, you see Dom scoop Liv out of the ring and in his arms as, oh, this heroic hero he is. And then you just hear Tiffany yell, that was my time to go and cash it in. No! And yeah. And that's it for the show. So, speaking of, that is it for this week's show, folks. So, please, do not forget to like the video if you're watching this on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel. If you're listening to this in audio form, give us a follow. Leave a 5-star review if you feel we've earned it. Yep. I am on Twitter at Tim Vicious. Thank you to contributor to the show, LFC Lingerie Fighting Championship. There are a little bit of wrestling, a little bit of MMA, and a whole lot of attractive women wearing a little bit of nothing. Thank you. Also, folks, do not forget to check out whatamaneuver.net for some vicious rants apparel. Perfect gift for somebody you love, somebody you hate, or a shirt just to get so that way you can give it to Goodwill and hold on to your stuff. It is a great gift for the holiday seasons coming up as well. And do not forget to follow these cool ass cats right here on the Twitter. DSB_IV, Main Event _net, the Main Event Wrestling Network account. Sergeant Curry Pants, 3 Count Thursday, D Dryer 1986. Folks, like I always tell you, shut up and sit down. If you love me, great. You hate me, Fuck you.